Hey guys, Shy here with Sunshine Scents. In today's video, I'll be discussing the basics of cold process soap making, lye safety, plus all of the equipment you'll need when you first get started. If you're ready to finally start making cold process soap, then stick around because this video is for you. I'm gonna first start by talking about the equipment that I started out using. If you're like a lot of people and don't have a ton of money to spend, don't worry because neither did I at the beginning, and I was still able to find some good deals on the basic equipment that I needed, which I'll be linking in the description box. The very first thing you'll want to make sure you have is a stick blender, aka an immersion blender. I got mine at Walmart for around $20, and this is a soap making necessity. You have to have one of these. I've been making soap since 2020 and this stick blender has not gone out on me yet. I'll be linking some other budget-friendly ones in the description box. Spatulas are a must and are honestly my best friend when it comes to making soap. Because of the price of oils and other ingredients, you want to make sure you're getting every last drop of soap. I also use mini spatulas to scoop my kale and clay and fragrance oil mixture. Make sure you're using rubber or silicone spatulas and don't spend a lot of money on these. I got all of my spatulas from the Dollar Tree and they do the exact same thing as the more expensive ones. When using plastic containers, make sure to check the bottom of the container for the number 5 or 2. These numbers let you know that this type of plastic is strong enough to endure lye and the chemical reaction that the soap goes through. I got most of my plastic containers from Dollar Tree. When using glass mixing containers, I recommend using heat-safe Pyrex glass. You can get these at Walmart for a decent price. You can also order these on Amazon, but I recommend Walmart because you'll get them for way cheaper. Just a word of advice, do not use tin or aluminum containers when mixing your lye water. These materials can react with the lye and create toxic fumes. When using mica powder or titanium dioxide, then you'll definitely need measuring spoons. Measuring cups come in handy when measuring your lye and oils. Just be sure not to use the same equipment that you use when cooking. Temp guns are a must for measuring the temperature of your lye water and oils. Some soap makers are really good at gauging the temperature of their lye water and oils without a temp gun, but I would definitely recommend always having one. Any kitchen scale will do, but I'll link the one I use in the description box. I've had this one for about 3 years now and it has not gone out on me yet. When using a scale, you want to make sure that it gets as accurate as possible because anything slightly off with your measuring can possibly ruin your entire batch of soap. My favorite soap molds are the silicone ones. I've experimented with a bunch of different molds and my go-to always end up being the silicone molds. They're just easier to work with and more flexible and make the molding process way easier. When I first started making soap, I actually started with melt and pour soap, and even then the silicone molds were always better to work with. I would start with the long purple silicone molds, and then from there you can start adding to your collection. Gloves and goggles are a must. Unless you want to burn your skin, you need to wear the correct protective gear. A face mask can also be worn, which I'll be discussing more in the next part of the video. The last thing you'll need is these little plastic cups. My main use with these is soaking my fragrance oil with the kale and clay before I make my soap. You can also use these for mixing your mica powder with your oils. I got mine off Amazon, but you can actually get these at Walmart in the same aisle as the plastic cups. Lye is an ingredient that you must have in order to make cold processed soap. You cannot make cold processed soap without it. Sodium hydroxide, aka lye, is an inorganic compound that is often found in everyday drain cleaners. It is highly caustic and will burn the skin if not handled properly. This is bad to say, but I didn't always used to wear goggles when making soap. I learned my lesson one day when some lye water splashed on my nose and burned me. So please always remember to wear the right protective gear, which includes gloves, goggles, and maybe even a face mask. Lye water can reach up to temperatures of 200 degrees. Once lye comes in contact with the oil, saponification happens. One thing to remember is to always add the lye to the water and not the other way around. Make sure to measure your lye and liquids in separate containers. When you're adding the lye to the distilled water or other liquid, you want to make sure to add it slowly while mixing in between. I'd also recommend having some sort of ventilation around or wearing a face mask, because once the lye comes in contact with the water, fumes are created which can lead to you breathing in the fumes. Lye water looks exactly like regular drinking water, so if you have kids or pets, I highly recommend labeling your lye and putting it up out of reach somewhere. When measuring your lye, you want to make sure you measure it correctly, otherwise it can cause your soaps to become lye heavy and you won't be able to use the soap. I'm speaking from experience when I say if lye accidentally comes into contact with your skin, you'll start to notice it within about 10 seconds. You'll start to feel your skin burning and itching. If this happens, don't panic, just quickly wash it off. A common soap maker's myth is that vinegar treats lye burns. This is 100% a myth, and you'll actually end up burning your skin even more, so please don't do this. One thing to remember is that when buying lye from Amazon or the hardware store, you want to double check and make sure that the bottle says 100% lye. I'll link the suppliers that I use in the description box. I know when I first started out making soap, it was a little confusing, so I really hope this video was helpful. The next Soap Making 101 video will be all about oils and butters, so make sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.